I can't believe what I just heard.
You can't?
No.
What episode would this be? Episode 1 since episode 0 was last time?
Yeah. Episode, it should be episode 1, yeah.
Daytona said no, we can't do it.
Hello! Welcome. We're still getting everything ready because we're still doing this whole podcasting thing. Welcome.
We're the most professional one out there.
Well, I mean, we still getting ready. I'm doing it now. What do you mean you doing it now? It's on my leg. Glock in my Rari was crazy. And I got this soda. Fetty boys, you know us. Take Glock in my Rari out, please, bet. How are y'all tonight? We're good.
Is that an actual soundbite?
Yes, Glock in my Rari is a soundbite.
Why didn't you tell me?
It's been a soundbite all of Speed Weeks, and everyone in chat hates us. This podcast is buns. Hold on.
Who said that?
I can't believe you just tweeted that out. On God.
Tweeted.
On God, you tweeted that. Man, I could been running a racing league right now, you know? Add back the screams. That's for Halloween.
Yeah, old Rowdy here could have been doing a Daytona 500.
No, it could have been a Zen Jolters race, I think. Oh, practice just went up. Ooh, I could still technically snag in. Qualifying doesn't start to 8:30, but I don't have the cars, the mod.
The fuck?
Mod, car pack. Technically, I could just go ahead and just do this shit. Oh, God. Oh.
Good gravy.
I got a message. Are you sure you want to do this? No. Why are you messaging me? Oh. I don't know when this mod. I don't know when the podcast is gonna start. I'm gonna download this anyway. Chat, we might squeak in this hoe. We might go to a league race. What the fuck is Allison?
Okay, while you do that, I'll
What
go
are
eat
you
dinner.
doing?
Download. Damn. It's crazy when you have a good fast internet. Holy shit. Oh my god. My internet going crazy. GT7 League? No.
I gotta actually set up my PS4 again.
Yes, Bert, I can hear that you're in dire stress. Show yourself? No, it's a podcast. It's supposed to be just this. Welcome to the pod.
I'm going to bed.
Shut up.
Good night.
Why are you going to bed?
Bro, I am so tired.
What did you do all day? Kindergarten must went crazy.
My god.
Oh, wait, there we go with the kindergarten dog. My fault. There's Facebook podcast? Yeah, I know. The last time I streamed on TikTok, it was I Love Bowls.
Yeah, that was the Phoenix race.
No, it was the Chili Bowl.
Huh.
Yes, episode 1. I'm not gonna stream it on TikTok. Fuck TikTok. I'm already live here.
Yay, I'm ban request.
From
Team left.
Hello, kiddies. This is art class today.
No, deny.
No,
you are
banned.
What the fuck? I'm getting a Spanish ad for Little Caesars.
Hell yeah. All right, chap. Welcome to the podcast, episode 1. So yeah, big news from us this week. No more NASCAR broadcasts from us. We still got race reactions and stuff. I think we can do more with this too. I know a lot of people were kind of upset, like, oh shit, we're not gonna be able to watch NASCAR anymore. But I think we can do more with this than just that. We can also do Formula One reactions, other racing reactions without worried about getting schmited. Looking at you, IndyCar. Looking at you.
Well, also WWE.
Yes, and WWE reactions. Pog.
Because this guy decided to be an idiot and stream the fucking Cody Rhodes entrance, even though I literally said, if you stream a single second of WWE content, you will get fucked. And he did not listen.
You know what's crazy? Gary guilt tripped me into that one.
Gary guilt tripped you into that.
Yes, he did. Gary said, stop being a little bitch and stream this. What if he did? That'd be crazy. Stop being a little bitch.
Fuck out of here.
But yeah, we have a lot of stuff we can do with the whole just not streaming NASCAR thing. Also, I don't want to ever get sued by the sport that I love. And so yeah, that's one of the reasons why we did it. And plus, we just also don't want to be known as the guys who just illegally stream NASCAR. We want to have other great content for you guys to enjoy, which I know a lot of guys do enjoy the random shenanigans that we get into. But besides that, now we got to get to our main topics of the podcast. I know that the big breaking news was sort of not a big topic, but the big topic was Speed Weeks, starting with Daytona 500Q. We saw a Ford sweep the front row, first time in God knows how long, 2007?
I believe, no, 2012, I'm pretty sure.
2012? So, big shout out to Ford.
2012.
Toyotas were really slow in qualifying. Chevrolets kind of looked the same. 2014 was the last time Ford had swept the front row. But Toyotas look slow. We talked about that while we were watching the race. The qualifying Toyotas all look slow. The Fords were pretty okay. And then the Chevys were just the Chevys, as they always are. They're always fast at Daytona. And any surprises from you guys out of qualifying?
Besides Ford sweeping the front row.
Yeah, besides that.
That made me pretty happy. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was fun.
Also, I don't know if Louise is here.
Also, I think I might not say much, might not be much, but I'm pretty sure that new FRM Penske Alliance it definitely showed that it was helping with that performance.
I will 100% agree with that when we start talking about the 500. Then we go to Thursday. We had the dual races. Don't know what the fuck happened, but the battle for the transfer spots were crazy this year. Yaley and Byron, yikes. Yaley and Johnson almost crashing each other in the state dual 1, and Get Loud for BJ McLeod and Kaz Grala in dual 2 was a pretty little one. Only thing memorable out of the duels though was the Blaney took a huge hit off a bad push, and that's something we're going to talk about too. I guess we can talk about it now.
Yeah.
What do you think is the worst on plate tracks with this new car? Is it bad blocks or is it bad pushes? Because the Gen 6 car, it was always somebody threw a terrible block that wiped the whole field out. I feel like with the next gen car, we're having dudes do terrible pushes that cause the huge one.
I think it's a combination of both. Because if you want to talk about bad pushes and bad bumps or bad blocks, You know that there's a couple instances where we've seen some pretty shitty blocks.
But have we seen a shitty block with a next
Um,
gen though?
Yeah, Denny Hamlin.
Oh yeah, Denny did throw a bad one.
And
Yeah.
that one, I think you can get away with bad blocks. The only reason the blocks are really bad is because it stacks everybody up so much, and then you get bad pushes.
Which sort of
Bad bumps, you're writing a recipe for disaster.
Which is sort of what Chastain was doing in the 500. Don't get me wrong, I love Ross Chastain. He did everything he could to win that bitch. But damn, bro, he was throwing some blocks, and them dudes were just. Each lane would have to check up so much. Like, it was killing them.
Yeah, it
But
was a lot coming out of him.
But as we saw, it's the normal, usual suspect with the bad push, aka Brad Keselowski. Starts the bad push, which caused Blaney to get turned head on in the fence. And also, Brad Keselowski had magical 2 black eyes for the 500, and don't know how he got them. So maybe he got them from the crash, or did Blaney go punch him in the face twice?
Maybe he's tired.
I mean, it is tiring being a nuisance on track at times.
I was like, damn. Dude had 2
It makes
black
me
eyes.
wonder, is there anybody who's worse at pushing with these next gen cars?
Bowman.
Brad.
Because I know last year Riley Herbst was a menace.
Yeah, Herbst was jacking
Herb-
dudes up
Herbst
at Dega.
was-
He'd
Herbst
get
was
up there.
going
He was
crazy.
fast, but when he was pushing Blaney in the fall Daytona, I was scared.
Yeah, it was a really scary situation because like we're thinking like, oh, this might actually not work. But I mean, yeah, the Blaney at super speedways, I'm gonna tell you right now, not good, not good, not
One
a good
thi-
trend.
One thing that really surprised me the dual races was BJ McLeod's car was fucking fast. If he had a car behind him, he was up there. By himself, he was kind of
Right.
trash. But when he had somebody tucked up behind him, that motherfucker was quick.
I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't even get to see these dual races because
He said the only reason he was fast was because he had an ECR engine, but he also had a Hendrick pit crew. So I guess a junior motorsports crew was pitting the 78 car.
possible, could be possible.
I was like, damn. All right, guy. Way to go. He almost made the 500. JJ Yaley was the other big miss of the 500. Johnson, Gralla, and Alfredo. And who's the fucking other one that made it on time? Oh, Reagan. All made it in on time from qualifying. So that locked our field for the Daytona 500. Nothing really crazy. Toyota showed that they were fast in the draft. The Fords looked really fast in the draft. The Chevys look strong. Chevys are always going to look strong at Daytona and Talladega. They just have too many cars. Fords and Toyotas are kind of like the odd men out because there's not a lot of Fords, not a lot of Toyotas. And then we start.
I mean, their track record. I'm just saying, man. The way they work together on super speedways, they outrun the Toyotas. They outrun the Chevrolets. But I'm glad that Toyota's actually making an effort to step up and actually, try to get to that level where Ford's been in the last the last super speedway races in the last few years. It's really cool to see that they are stepping up and trying to be actual competition now.
Yeah. It's really the only one that was any comp for anybody was Hamlin. And this year, I'm not gonna lie, Bell was up there, Reddick, Bubba. I mean, they all had a shot up front except for Truex, which,
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ, my man was just in shambles all week.
Unfortunate.
And then now we head to our favorite series, the fucking truck series. And that race was an absolute fucking nightmare. Oh my god.
I can't say I can't tell you how disappointed I was watching that shit.
We had 12 cautions, and we had 18 trucks.
Let me tell you, the comparison to racing that or watching that race, it literally was an NR 2003 race from when we raced back in the day.
Yeah. That's how bad
Except
that shit was.
it, we're amateurs, in a way. We're amateurs, and that just shit happens. But let me tell you, that was embarrassing to watch from so-called professionals in a fucking truck.
Yeah, now the 18, I don't know how many was legitimately competitive racing after being tore up. We saw
So BS.
Taylor Gray flipped. Corey LaJoy caused the fucking huge one at the end.
Roger did.
Oh, Raja, yeah. Well, LaJoy was shoving him.
And Raja caused that.
Oh,
As a Raja fan, Raja caused it, I think.
we'll also talk about Corey LaJoy as well. He also caused something stupid in the cup race. But
Yeah.
the truck series was just, I don't know. It's always that way at the play tracks, though, with these guys. They don't give a damn and they just fucking tear shit up. Which goes to our other shit show on Friday, the ARCA series. Go ahead, Eric, about the finish your truck.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm like, watching these races the last couple of years has really brought a point I've seen by some people online on the X app and Facebook and whatnot. I think what really I think about it is I think trucks really should just ditch super speedways, just run their regular like intermediates, short tracks, road courses, just the super speedways. Bring some legitimacy back to the series. I feel like there's no legitimacy anymore with what's going on. They're all running like morons. A lot of time when we do these big plate tracks.
I kind of agree. I think they definitely run like morons, but I think if you take super speedways out, where do the young guys get to go be idiots and tear shit up?
The ARCA series.
I agree with that statement, though, is because the Xfinity races would be absolute dog shit if the truck races didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Because
right.
you have those shitters in trucks who will field one Xfinity race at Daytona and total the field.
They need their experience somewhere, and the only way they're going to learn is through mistakes. And sometimes they'll have good races, but they'll make mistakes.
Yeah, and they don't want to go to ARCA because if you're not in a Venturini or a Joe Gibbs car,
Which we're about to touch upon that.
Speaking of the ARCA boys, legitimately, they had 4 cars with no damage at the end.
There's the moron series where they tear it up.
4 cars had no damage at the end of the ARCA race. Only 10 cars finished on the lead lap.
Oh my god, I thought it was 8.
No. 10 cars finished on the lead lap. One of them was Andy J, but he was also in the big one at the end, so I don't know if I could count him as being coming across the finish line. But
fuck?
Did you see the retweet by Brad Perez about the guy and how he would describe every race that was going to happen this week?
No.
Oh my god!
I saw the truck
in a
one.
second.
My man Willie Mullins qualified on the pole. Big emotional moment. His father-in-law passed away over the off season. His wife, I think, was diagnosed with some form of cancer during the off season. And Big Willie gets the pole to completely have a throttle hang on him, and he run right into the 69 of Scott Melton and just kill both of them pretty much. Jesus Christ. Scott Melton, rather just get out of a car. Every time you're on a plate track, you are either the big one or you're fucking getting hit wide open or you're running wide open into somebody. Brad Smith finished 22nd. He He was overheating at lap 81 is why he pulled that shit off. um, but yeah. Gus Dean was your ARCA winner after wrecking every one of his teammates at the beginning of the race. Congrats, Gus Dean. Appreciate you on that one. Gus Dean, I think we saw the Big Tone interview. She was not happy with her teammate that wiped out her and her other teammate who was racing full time for the championship. Chris Wright, her weekly niece, one of her weekly niece boys, is running full time for Venerini. And was completely torn up by the teammate, and also the other Venerini car, Amber Balkan, was also in that one. Even though Amber Balkan came back to finish ninth, congrats on that. Every one of the female drivers in the ARCA race was also involved in a crash, so they got their licks. Mandy Chick was in a crash. The other one missed the show, so I guess she kind of walked out of there with a clean race car. And our superstars that was in this race also walked out, getting a little bit of taste of ARCA. Marco Andretti crashed, and SVG was in the big one. So
it didn't take long for him to be in the big one either.
Nope.
Unfortunately, but he definitely got a real taste of what ARCA is like.
Yep. Also, I don't know if this is a full-time thing, but Tanner Gray was in the 18 for Joe Gibbs. I don't know if he's running full-time for Gibbs in the ARCA series, but he's going to be a guy to watch out for in the ARCA series. I really don't know who's going to be the Venerini horse this year. I know Gus ain't racing full-time. I think the only two is Chris Wright and Big Tone. So I don't know who's going to be the Venerini monster of normal, unless Tanner Gray's just going to run away with this championship driving the Gibbs car. Or one of the Rev Racing cars. We might actually have an ARCA champion that's not a Venerini driver this year. That'd be kind of fun.
Last year's ARCA champion wasn't Venerini.
This was Jesse Love.
That was Joe Gibbs.
Was it Joe Gibbs? I thought he was with Venerini. He was in the 20.
No, he was in the 18.
Was he? Am I smoking crack?
Yes.
Jesse Love, champion.
Oh no, he was in the 20. It was still Joe Gibbs.
Let's see. 20. No, he was for Venerini.
Oh, well, that was a Joe Gibbs car masked as a Venerini car.
Connor Mosack and William Sawalich was the Venerini cars. Hey, get on.
Hey, I just want to point out at the start of the truck
William
race.
Or Nick?
William
Swallows.
Sandwich. He's going to be a threat, but he's not going to be able to run the full ARCA season because he's still a child.
I was talking to different people.
That kid
at the
runs.
Start of the truck race. No, I want to let me just play my point. At the start of the truck race, I called out that Taylor Gray was going to flip because I'd love to see that bright orange car flip over in the race.
You got your list.
That he did.
I was going to say, though, that kid, I'm pretty sure, was still doing Trans Am, because I remember watching Trans Am race while we were in LA, and that kid was tearing it up on the track.
Oh, Sandwich, yeah. Williams Walsh is pretty good.
Yeah, you say he's not going to win the championship, but are there any guys who's going to dominate while he's gone?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's any really big Venerini guys this year, unless Tony Ranger runs away with it.
The races that he will be in, odds are he'll probably take those. You know, it's him and Jesse Love fighting for the win every single weekend.
True.
So I still think that the championship is still definitely in the cards, even though he's running part-time almost.
And now we're going to we'll save the 500 for last. We have the Xfinity boys at Daytona. They were on after the Cup boys. Put on it was a good race, but after the excitement of the Cup race, I think it took a lot from them. Didn't really have any like crazy huge wrecks. We had the one on the back straightaway with Austin Hill and Jesse Love and a bunch of those boys involved. But we had 27 cars at the end of that thing. Praise God. Notables that got took out early in that one. Suarez, Sam Mayer took a huge head-on collision into the fence at lap 22. Haley Deegan was involved, and Kyle Weatherman. So those boys were all took out. And a leak that came from Daytona that someone, I guess, took a photo of in Daytona is that our boy Frankie Muniz, who was everyone's favorite to go drive for Sieg Racing, bought into the Emmerling team. Joey Gase, Patrick Emmerling. I guess he bought out Patrick Emmerling because Emmerling was running the 07 car at Daytona. And Frankie was in the 35. And it says Gase Muniz Motorsports. So y'all got anything to say about Frankie buying into an Xfinity ride?
I think that it's interesting because when he started doing ARCA, it made it sound like he wanted to hit Cup. But I don't know with him buying into the Xfinity team, whether that's going to make him try and convince Gaze to try and get a charter when one comes available, or whether it's just to stay there in Xfinity.
Well, we'll just say this. My man Patrick Emmerling did finish 17th at Daytona in the 07 car. Beating out both Frankie, who was in a wreck, and beating out Joey Gase. Poor Joey Gase. Joey Gase has went through that, boys. Joey Gase has struggled. But Natalie Decker becomes the third female ever to lead a laps in the Xfinity Series by leading 7 laps at Daytona, joining Danica Patrick and Patty Moise is what Natalie Decker joined. Not gonna lie, she ran alright. She took care of the car. Really nothing more to say. She took care of her car. She kept it clean. Will she get another ride from it? Who knows? Especially, like, I was seeing, like, a lot of people tweeting at her saying, like, oh, you shouldn't celebrate an 18th place finish. Motherfucker, I'd celebrate an 18th place finish. That car was not supposed to make that race.
18th is better than dead last, and with leading a few laps, I would consider that a win. If I was in a position like that, I consider that a win.
Yeah, especially. Go ahead, Cart.
Like a mid-pack kind of backfield their team leading laps, I say that's easy win.
Yeah, especially after you got announced to drive the car a week before Daytona and had to rush and get your seat fitted and everything for this race. Yeah, I say it's a big W for Miss Decker. Like I said, I don't think she's getting another shot at it unless she gets back into the 36 car, but I don't think she gets a big time opportunity in that car or a big time Xfinity offer from that. She did alright. But now we're gonna talk about the GOAT, Austin Hill of Xfinity plate racing over the past couple of years. Goes 3 for 3 at Daytona after we crash and we crashed out of 2 and NASCAR didn't throw a caution and Sheldon Creed lifted out of the gas. And Austin Hill goes 3 for 3 at Daytona, winning the opener, and he's going next week back home to his home track of Atlanta to probably sweep the Xfinity both races, I would say. He is a bad, fast plate racer. And I have it in the notes, and we're going to talk about it. What's y'all's opinion? Do y'all think Austin Hill will go down as one of the best Xfinity plate racers? I'm going to say yes, 100%.
So, I was going to actually say something. How many wins does Tony Stewart have at Daytona for Xfinity?
I think 5.
I think he might break that record. There's no doubt in my mind that he will definitely break that record.
And this
I'll
is
call it.
something.
I'll call it. Sorry, I'll call it within like the next couple of years. He'll do it at least. If he doesn't do it next year, he'll do it like in another like what 2, 3, 4 years. But he'll break it.
Yeah, and this is something I see with Austin Hill. I don't see him ever wanting to move up to Cup. He's already 30. He's going to be turning 30 this year. I don't ever see him moving up to Cup. I feel like he's just fine where he's at in Xfinity.
Yeah, I think he's going to be another Justin Allgaier where he'd rather win races in Xfinity than go run for a midfield team in Cup.
And I mean, the way that his car, even when it had the nose damage, he could just get through traffic. How many times did he come from the back to the front? And that was with all the RCR cars over the Daytona weekend, except for Austin Dillon. But
yeah, Jesse had a ton of speed too.
Yeah, even with his little bit of, he had a whole front end cut off, and he was still swapping through cars mid pack. He couldn't be out front and lead, but I mean, he was still cutting through them in the back. He came home 20th. I mean, he did get involved in the last two big ones, but he still got it. But Austin Hill is just something on Xfinity, and especially on the plate side, plate racing. I don't know if he's not like Dale Jr. out there killing the field by 8 seconds at Daytona, but I mean he's damn good at plate racing. Like some of the moves he was making through the middle of the pack when he was coming through the field, I was like, holy shit, this car's got speed. And he always puts himself in the right position at the end, because even like right at the end of the race when we were watching it, JFam says like, who are you picking to win? I was like, Austin Hill, and he's like, you sure about that? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty positive. And it was like half a lap, and he already left Jordan Anderson out to dry and was gone. Other notables from the Xfinity race, SVG comes home 12th in his first ever Xfinity race. Dinger came home 10th. Looking like another mid-year for the junior motorsports camp. You know, Allgaier is going to get his couple. Sam Mayer is going to get his. I didn't see a lot out of Sammy Smith. I don't know if anybody else saw anything out of Sammy Smith. He was up there a couple times, but he kind of got involved in the big
I didn't hear about him all race.
Yeah, I really didn't notice him a lot.
Yeah, there's nothing really.
And Brandon Jones was just Brandon Jones. Was nowhere to be seen until.
I mean, come on. What else did you expect from Brandon Jones? What did you expect?
Oh yeah, Jeff.
What though? Just
go ahead, Carp. No, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was reading something sad.
Jesse Love really impressed me. I mean, what, didn't he win the first stage of his Xfinity career? That's really impressive. To instantly get in that car and be just as fast, if not faster, than Austin Hill.
Mm-hmm. And he also didn't lay over for Austin Hill, which we saw last year on the plate tracks. Sheldon Creed. I know the whole Martinsville debacle between him and Austin Hill kind of like broke up the whole like whatever. But Sheldon Creed laid over a lot for Austin Hill on the plate tracks. Like he would always be the guy who would be like, "Oh, I'll let you in." That last restart or the stage restart at the end of that thing, Jesse Love did not. He was side drafting his teammate, and he was like, "Nah, I'm winning this stage." And I was like, "Okay."
I even said during the Xfinity race, I'm like, Jesse Love is not going to be the one that he's not going to play bitch to Austin Hill. He's not going to be Austin Hill's bitch. He's going to work for a win too. And I feel like eventually they're going to. I'm not going to say now, but they might have that shit happen again like last year. But it might boil over pretty badly.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it with Jesse Love before. Tensions boiling over.
Yeah, him and William Sawalich. Technically, they're Toyota teammates, but I mean, not last year, but they did not give a damn.
He didn't even care about his other Venturini teammates.
Nope.
I don't blame them at all.
But I like that. I bet we see Jesse Love do well this year, and then I bet we see him in moving up to Cup when there's a spot in a couple years.
Another car that I'll talk about that kind of ran all right and ran up front. He led the third most laps behind Jesse Love and Austin Hill. Was Ryan Sieg. Sieg was okay. It might just be the plate stuff, but I mean, he's a Georgia boy. He might be the one that breaks the Austin Hill curse, but I don't think so. But Sieg looked good at Daytona. Anybody else you guys think looked good at Daytona? Apparently Ryan Ellis led 12 laps. Oh, yeah, when they were... Yeah, never mind. I know why.
Yeah, he jumped out in front of Decker when they were in that kind of lap car train.
Yeah.
Sheldon Creed, I felt like he was really good. He definitely had a car to win.
Yeah, he did.
I almost think maybe he would have won if he didn't get out of the gas.
Yeah, he would have at least had a shot at him. Because it would have just came down to them two.
I definitely think he would have caught the draft, at least coming out of 4, and would have been closer.
I feel like the Gibbs teammates are going to work a lot better this year. With the Creed and Chandler, and then you had the two All-Star cars, the 20 and 19.
Those guys usually work. Those guys usually work all right together. I don't really.
Oh yeah, Parker Retzlaff. Isaiah, that's a good one. Parker Retzlaff was up front a lot, and he was up in the top 5 a lot in the Daytona race. What on God's green earth was Creed doing letting off the gas? I think they told him that there was a wreck, and he pretty much thought a caution was coming out and was lifted.
I mean, I don't blame him if there was a fucking wreck happening. That's your initial reaction, like, oh shit, caution must be coming out.
Yeah, and especially after seeing the Cup finish where the wreck happened and the caution was just about immediate, to not have one right after the whole field piles up, I would have checked up too.
Yeah, sure, you're allowed to state opinions if you want to. Oh, he already left, never mind.
But that's another thing that kind of green-white checkered for the entire weekend.
Yeah.
I know that's a big talking point right now.
Except in the Cup race, we didn't have an overtime. Did we have an overtime in the Cup race, or did we finish 200?
No, we didn't have overtime.
Not at all.
It was 5 laps to the finish, and then we got the white flag. But yeah, what do you guys think? Because I saw a bunch of people saying they didn't like us finishing however far ahead from the finish line, how they did in Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see a lot of people saying that they would, rather than race back to the green flag or to the checkered.
It depends on where the crash is at.
Yeah, because I mean, that one maybe it would have been fine, but I think other wrecks that we've had in the past where you could say they could race to the checkered or they should have, they definitely couldn't have because the back half of the field's still gonna have to race through the wreck.
I saw a Twitter post where this guy was like, let's make the overtime line again, but instead it's on the last lap.
No.
Yeah, on the backstretch.
Is it like, yeah, the line with the backstretch, right?
Kill everyone.
No, I don't want an overtime line back because that line was stupid.
That was stupid. No, but this is on the last lap. So, like, you still have a green-white checkered if a caution happens before that line.
No. I don't want to sit there for another 40 minutes as they
I'd agree with that.
Murder each other for no reason. Especially in the truck and Xfinity series, because you know they would.
One guy was like,
God, they're gonna
one series they threw a caution in, the other they didn't for the Xfinity race. And I was like, no. Did you see the car flying back up the racetrack in the Cup Series?
Yeah. Well, the thing is like the truck series, we had to throw a caution. That's why that one ended their caution. We had to.
Well,
We had a truck in the
I
air, and a
yeah.
guy. I mean, the 15 got or 17 got hit in the top. He got hit in the roof a couple times. There's huge dents in the roof where he got hit.
Not
Like
the only time I've ever seen
they
a
had
brother
to
on top of a brother.
they had to send the AMR safety team out. The Xfinity race, it didn't look like that big of a crash. I think that's why they were like, just let them race back. I mean, it was a big crash, but I mean, they didn't even show a replay of it, so it must have not been that big.
I think it was only 3 or 4 cars that really wrecked. It just split everyone up.
And
Yeah,
now
it's
they,
interesting to think about because, like, the only other solution is to scrap overtime and then you finish the race under yellow, which we would have done anyways with overtime, and it
Okay.
pretty much stays. This field stays the same.
My biggest gripe on the weekend, and it's not anything racing related, okay? Like, you guys are gonna like not know what the fuck I'm talking about when I bring this up, but some people in the chat might. Is so the official betting partner with NASCAR is FanDuel right now.
yes.
But if the race doesn't happen within 24 hours of the scheduled start time, all bets get void. So I made bets for this race on FanDuel, and they were all void come the race.
Mm.
I'll get my money back because like I didn't even pick the winner, so like I'm not that upset. But like that's ridiculous. BetMGM, it just has to take place within the week. If they would have started this 500 at 2:00 in the afternoon on Monday, all the bets would have been void or been valid.
Yeah.
That's weird because I was able to get on DraftKings and do DraftKings shit.
That also was like a whole week. You had a whole week after the race started.
I don't know
It's
that.
only FanDuel, which is the official partner of NASCAR,
Wow. Looks like
that it has to
FanDuel.
take place within 24 hours of the scheduled start time. One of my bets was Ross Chastain. 22-1. He could have easily won.
Yeah, he could have.
I mean, at the end of the day, he didn't. But I'm just saying, like, if he does win, and I'm only getting $20 and not $120 back, I'm kind of pissed off.
So now we're heading to our big race, the 2024 Daytona 500. A race that saw 5 cautions for 20 laps, 3 hours and 10 minutes. The average speed was 157 miles an hour. We had 11,000 green flag laps, 66 green flag laps per lap. So, anybody want to talk about a little bit of what they saw on the 500?
Okay, well, first off, with that average speed, it only got deduced because we sat there for about 20 minutes under the red flag.
Yep.
Like, the average speed was way higher in that race. It was a really good Daytona 500 in my mind.
Like I've stated, I think it was one of the best 500s we've had in a couple of years.
I mean, it was clean. It was fun to watch.
It's interesting to see us all kind of agree that it was a good 500 because it seems like on Twitter everybody's having the opposite reaction. They think it was awful.
Well, because
I mean,
it ended under yellow. That was everyone's issue. It's like they had to throw the caution there.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just at this point, I kind of just ignore anything that is being said on that platform because everyone's influence nowadays, in my opinion, everyone's like thoughts and feelings, they're all derived from that platform, and y'all know what I'm talking about. But like that, it was a great race. That was probably a Daytona 500 I enjoyed for the first time in like years.
It was you had that first wreck, I don't know what lap it was on, 6 or something, I think. 6 or 7. It was early.
Yeah.
Very early. There was not another contact incident to the big one with 8 to go.
Yeah. And it was some of the tightest play racing I think we've seen, even after a big one. The stage 2 where they were crowding Kyle Busch and I forgot who was behind him. They were crowding him up against the fence. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to die. And we never
Yeah, that was
did.
great to watch.
Yeah, the only thing that sucked to that first wreck was probably Johnson getting so far damaged. And then how clean it went, he had no chance of making anything up.
But I'm not gonna lie. It was one of the best Daytona 500s I have sat in and watched in probably 8-9 years. Of just how, I mean, it was fun. They were side drafting. And there was a lot of people talking about like, oh well, I don't really like that we had to save fuel. But man, that was a huge aspect because you've seen guys like lift out of the gas and drop to the back because they had to save gas, and it was like there was so much into this 500. It was like everybody in the field legitimately wanted to win. It felt like it was a big race, and
It's a huge race. It's the biggest race of the year.
In the last couple years, I'm not gonna lie, it's not felt like that. We've had just guys do dumb things, like the ones who want to win and they wreck a whole field, and we have, Ricky Stenhouse, slide up there and win one, and you're like, oh, okay, it doesn't really feel that great.
Maybe the past 5 years, it's been like, the Daytona's on today. I'm a little busy. Let me just check in for the last 15 laps, and I get all the action and none of the boring parts.
Yeah, it was such a good race that I'm on a second date with a girl on Sunday, and I was like, we have to watch this race on Monday. I barely know the girl, and she doesn't know NASCAR, and I'm like, we have to watch this race. And then, okay, here we go. Last 30 laps, I watched with her in a bar somewhere, and it was great.
Holy shit!
So I'm gonna talk about 3 cars that I watched in this 500 that I don't know if anybody else watched them, but they felt like to me they were the only 3 cars that could slice and dice through the field. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Joey Logano. I don't know if it's because they're probably the 3 best plate racers now.
For sure, 2 of the 3 best.
But they were just carving the field. They would be in the back and be in the top 5 in 5 laps.
Kyle was going off though.
Especially
Kyle
Denny and
struggled
Kyle.
after that loose wheel.
Yeah.
So like, his
up
car
until
wasn't
that point.
Good.
Up until that point, though, he was going off.
He was
good.
Really good. I agree, but he was good up front. Once he got in the back, his car was not the same. It wasn't able to make moves like Corey's saying. His car struggled back there.
After the loose wheel, yeah. On the before that, he went from he had a penalty or something, and he was in like the top 10 in 2 laps from starting like 30th.
Yeah, that was also though when they were still saving gas and everything. It was kind of easier to make moves once everyone was on it. His car did not like the back of the path.
Yeah, I don't know how the other guy, Denny, I don't know how he got up there. It was just like, oh, we're 3 wide up front, and there's Denny, came from absolutely nowhere, Houdini'd his way up to the front.
I liked those Toyotas this whole weekend. It's just they didn't win at the end of the day, but they were by far the best cars moving through the field. And that's part of their design change. It was meant for these big racetracks.
And Christopher Bell finishes 3rd in this 500. He talked about it in the Netflix thing. He said he is this sleeper, and I think he is. I think he is legitimately a sleeper this year.
I had a whatever when he started joining trucks, because at the time I didn't like KBM, whatever. he's turned into like arguably he's my favorite Toyota driver for sure at this point. He is just so consistently up there. He doesn't win a lot, but God, he finds a way to finish top 10 week in, week out.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's just a super quiet driver. Even in dirt, you'd see a video of him struggling during qualifying and practice, not enough pace, and then ekes out an 8th place out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just
Dude just turns the wick up after a while.
he just figures the car out. He's a true racer. He'll figure out what he's driving in. It takes him a minute or two, but he'll figure out what he's driving in.
And
It's weird to see.
I was gonna say it even
him
shows in his Xfinity like starts and everything. He was good in like 2018, whatever. But he turned it on in 2019 when he was running Xfinity. Like they said, there was big three at the time. It was him, Cole Custer, and Austin Cindric.
yeah.
It's weird to see Bell kind of be that sleeper guy where you never think about him, never talk about him, and he's there. When Larson, probably the guy with the most similar background to Christopher Bell, is kind of the exact opposite.
Yeah,
He
Larson
runs his heart out.
Yeah, Larson's always up front. And this is something I'll think, and this is something I've talked about multiple times on the old streams and stuff. It's like NASCAR doesn't have like their core set. Like when I started watching, it was Dale Sr., Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace. That was your big three. The early 2000s, it was Jimmy, Junior, and Tony.
Gordon. Yeah,
I think we've got that with this era. I didn't the car tomorrow to Gen 6. We never really had like a big group of like big three guys. I think we've got it with the next gen cars. It's Byron, I'm gonna say Bell and Blaney. I think that's our three guys you're just gonna have to watch out every year for, even though Bell is a sleeper.
I don't agree with Blaney. I think this next gen's brought so many guys, but it's Byron, Bell, Larson still up there. I don't think Blaney's better than Larson in the next gen.
I think it's specific tracks. I think specific tracks, Blaney's better than Larson, but overall, I think Larson just ekes him out.
Yeah, I think there's with this the next gen brought its reason for being a new car is there's 6 or 7 guys you feel like are really good, and it's not just 2 or 3. It's not the 2 or 3 big three you have anymore. It's 6 or 7 guys.
Yeah, like the whole round of 8 last year felt like they all had a pretty decent shot at making the Final Four.
Hamlin's had some shitty luck, but he's been really good in the next gen in terms of pace and end of race and whatever. Hamlin's been good throughout any car, really.
Yeah.
Same with Logano.
Same with Logano. Logano's won a title in the next gen. He had a shitty round of 16 last year, but he won a title.
And now we're going to talk about everyone's favorite moment, the end of the race, where Corey LaJoie said he saw a hole. And I mean, just drove through Austin Cindric and caused the crash that ended the race, which NASCAR had to throw the caution. I seen someone in the chat say, like, what would have happened if NASCAR hadn't thrown the caution? Well, the field's going to come through there, mock Jesus, and somebody's going to go in the catch fence. Because if you look at the Austin Dillon crash, the car shot up across the track, hit Austin Dillon in the front, and Austin Dillon flew into the fence.
We're going to have to throw the caution there.
We were going to have a repeat of that. Somebody was going straight in the air if they had hit Austin Cindric in the nose.
You had to throw the caution there. That's the only thing I'll say.
The one thing I didn't like, though, is Corey LaJoie made a comment, and he was like, oh, Austin Cindric said, I made a dumb move when I watched him make dumb moves. Which, yes, has Austin Cindric made dumb moves? Yes. But, I mean, he just drove through him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that wasn't going to cause... I mean, Chastain came down because he thought it would be clear at that point, but LaJoy hit Cindric so hard it shoved him way forward. Right?
Yeah. That's pretty much what happened. LaJoy shoved Cindric so... Because that's why Chastain opened. That's
Incident.
Chastain's like, oh, there's no one here on the bottom. I'm going to take it. And right as he shoots it down, that's right as LaJoy had just destroyed Cindric in the ass. And
You're
just
coming to the last 2.5 miles of the Daytona 500.
I'm not going to lie. I did like Ross Chastain's move, though. I think if Cindric hadn't have been a hit right there, I think Chastain could have squeaked out and won the 500. It looked like he had a huge head of momentum going through there. He was going to get at least a Byron's door. And then you have Alex Bowman coming home second.
Heartbreak.
As we call him, Bow Mid. But I don't know. He showed some stuff in the 500. I mean, he was in the top 5 for a little bit of it. But I'm not going to give him the Bowman the Showman moniker back. And I think this is a year where he's going to have to win 2 or 3 races, or he might be on the old chopping block at HMS.
It was heartbreak for Bowman, but for me, I mean, like, if that caution gets thrown a second later, he wins.
Mm-hmm.
He was in position, and I'm sure that's all Rick wanted, really, was cars in contention. You know, they didn't get either of the front row spots this year, and then they finished 1-2 in the 500, so I don't know if he can really complain.
I'm not gonna lie, all 4 of the Hendrick cars look really good in the 500. It's usually like 2 of them in previous years look good. It's usually like Elliott and Byron look really good, and then Larson and Bowman just kind of put in the back and say, well, I'll just let them wreck. But this year, every one of them look good. I think Rick had him some good luck this year with the whole not getting the pole. Other notables: John Hunter Nemechek gets a top 10 in his Cup return. The other Legacy car gets a top 10 with Eric Jones in 8th. So both Legacy cars top 10. Noah Gragson and his Cup returns a top 10.
Did you notice the stat with Byron? I'm not sure if this is accurate, but every 500 leading up to this year has finished in the DNF, and this would be his first one that he had finished.
And he goes
It
home.
is. No, it is. It is legit. The first one he's finished.
He lucked out this year.
He has retired every other year.
That is a crazy fucking stat.
He for sure hasn't been on the lead lap any other year.
What if Alex Bowman won the 500? I mean, Alex Bowman won the 500.
Byron maybe finished in 2018.
If Bowman won, it'd be a shit race. Awful. Terrible.
No,
I think I wouldn't necessarily be mad if Bowman won, because he definitely made a charge on the outside. I do feel for him a little bit. He definitely kind of got screwed over at the time that the caution came out. But that's just kind of overtime racing right now.
I would say this: if Alex Bowman won the Daytona 500, his seat would be safe. But right now, I still think he's on the hot seat at Hendrick. With all these new guys coming in, Zane Smith looking for a spot. I think he's already got a trackhouse spot, but you never know. Hendrick can go buy him out.
I mean, if Raja does well this year, because I know he's talking to Mr. H a lot.
You got a lot of young guys spots. The junior motorsports camp, you got Sammy Smith, Sam Mayer looking for a shot. I mean, Bowman is on a hot seat. The other 3 are definitely not on a hot seat. Chase Elliott's fine. Byron's fine. Yeah. Larson's fine.
Chase Elliott's got a spot for life. Byron's really showed up this last year. Larson's got a spot for life.
Bowman, the whole office is on fire. And it really depends. I mean, if Hocevar has a good year and Bowman doesn't, Hocevar can land in that car. God forbid I don't want to see that, but damn. Also, this is
I don't either.
this is also Hendrick's first Daytona 500 win since 2014.
That is 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Last Hendrick driver to win the 500 was Dale Jr. 2014. Also an Exalta driver. Just saying.
Dale Tenney Earnhardt Jr.
But I really liked William Byron winning it. I mean, the kid has pretty much done everything now except win a championship. He's got his Daytona 500 ring. He's won some big races. I mean, can he win more crown jewels? Yeah, he will definitely win a lot more crown jewels over his career. Man has still got a young career. And then we have, we look down here on the bottom of the list. Some guys that ran up front but did not have finishes. Logano was in the big one. Brad in the big one. Blaney in the big one. Reddick. Reddick was up front a lot too in the 500. He was another car I was kind of paying attention to. Chris Buescher. And then you have your guys down here that really sad. Michael McDowell, Todd Gillen. Todd Gillen was up front a lot in the 500. Every time I was looking, he was top 10, top 15. And Michael McDowell had the motor issue. And then we had our lap 5 crash with Harrison, Coralla, and Hocevar.
I know you will know.
Any other boys? Any other things you want to talk about the 500?
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna
You guys already know my feelings on that, so.
Viewership went down to 6 million. Last year was 8 million people watched the 500. Now it went down to 6 million this year.
You also got to account for weather. If you look at the previous weather one, it was 4 million. So the race technically went up via weather delay from the previous weather delay. But from overall last year, yes, it went down 2 million viewers.
Mm-hmm.
It also kind of helped that it fell on President's Day, so there probably was people at home. There were people at home watching the race.
And now we head to plate race number 2 on the schedule, Atlanta. I think trucks, Xfinity, and Cup are all there this weekend. Trucks are Saturday day, Xfinity Saturday night. What?
Trucks.
Oh yeah. And then we have
in general.
And then we have Cups on Sunday. So boys, who do y'all think will win the truck race on Saturday afternoon in Atlanta?
I think it's going to be Ben Rhodes.
Last year's Atlanta winner was Eckes.
I have a repeat of last week.
So you think Sanchez wins? Sanchez finished second last year at Atlanta. I think I agree with Eric. I think it's going to be another crapshoot race, but I feel like it's going to be somebody random wins. I don't think we're going to have any big name guys win this one. I feel like it's going to be somebody random. Maybe a Rajas win. I mean, Timmy Hill finished 8th there last year. Fuck it. Go Timmy.
Yeah, Trucks is the only one that I have no clue. Because anything could happen.
Now we're going to go talk about Xfinity. Who do y'all think wins Xfinity at Atlanta?
I think it's going to be Sheldon Creed.
Ooh. Eric?
He showed a ton of speed, and I think that after him lifting, he's going to kind of want to get one back after that.
I'm gonna say Creed. I think that lit a fire in his ass.
So two for...
Yeah. Plus, I am a Creed fan.
I will say it. I will take it. I will ride on this hill. I'm going with Austin Hill. Austin Hill's sweeping the first 2 races. He finished second last year in the second Atlanta race, and he won the first Atlanta race. Austin Hill. Anyone else in the chat and Discord want to chime in on who they want to win Xfinity? Damn, Gary said Natalie Decker. Correct. And we have the Cup Series at Atlanta. Last year's winner was Joseph Logano and William Byron. This one I really don't know who I would pick to win this race.
Yeah.
Corey LaJoy finished 4th.
Do not bet the farm on Corey LaJoy.
You know what? I'll go out on a limb. I'll be the first one. Brad Keselowski.
For every time you bet the farm on fucking Corey LaJoy, I can imagine dude already been through multiple bankruptcies.
Hmm.
I don't know if this is a segment, but who do you guys have for next week?
Oh, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I said Brad Keselowski.
No. I like Christopher Bell.
Hmm.
Let me pull up my handy dandy list of guys.
I don't know, man. I can't say Blaney because I don't think Blaney's done as great on the new configuration of Atlanta.
Well, he did get a top 7. He was 3rd in the stage for Spring Atlanta last year.
I actually am
Didn't
gonna
do
give this
terrible.
one to Logano.
I like Spring Atlanta for the. I don't like pulling anything off of Fall Atlanta because it was nighttime, it rained. It's not the same track.
Daniel
Plus, you
Suarez.
got winter. The track gets bumpier this year. It's gonna be a better race this year just because the track's a little bumpier.
I think I'm gonna go with Tyler Reddick.
Not bad.
I
Look
think
good
the
at
Toyota's got speed.
I don't like Tyler
23
Reddick. Did
it's
you
like
hear his
Tyler's got
interview?
speed. No.
He was pissed, dude. He said he's gonna get wrecked again this week.
So, Joey, you wasn't here. Who you picking for trucks and Xfinity in Atlanta?
Sorry?
I broke Joey's brain. I said, who's he picking for trucks and Xfinity since he wasn't here for it?
No.
Oh.
My only good prediction from this whole weekend was Taylor Gray flipping. Literally, that was the only one I got right.
Well,
I also said an ARC car would get in the fence, and I was damn close on that.
Oh, yeah. Andres Perez did almost get in the fence. Poor Andres. Andy Jokowiak said he was not listening unless he seen God or a checkered flag, and I don't think he saw God or the checkered flag, so...
He was the one underneath Perez.
Yeah, he was. He came
He
close.
saw for a little bit.
He saw the in-care center.
Yeah, he had to go there. I mean, like, with the rules they have now, he went there after the race.
Yeah.
Thank God Arca does not race
You are
Atlanta.
not. Yeah. God said you were not winning that race.
I really wanted him to. I really wanted him to win it. He was actually one of the Arca guys I was kind of pulling for at the end. I was like, damn, it'd be cool if he won. I really didn't want to see Gus Dean win. At our
On a scale of 1 to 10, though, that's got to be the best in-car interview ever.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones. I'm not going to lift. I see God or the checkered flag. They even asked him, like, who are you going to help? And he's like, I'm helping no one. He said, it's Daytona.
Whoever's in front of me.
I think his whole interview just sums up Arca.
Pretty much. Damn,
Well, boys,
I think that's it.
I'm simulating X-Gen or Next Gen at Atlanta right now, so we'll see how it goes.
I don't mean. SRX is delayed. SRX is dead.
XRX is dead. Yeah. I'm pissed because they were going to a track that's like right by my house.
SRX is dead, and they're bringing IROC back.
In not NASCAR news, have any of you
I'm
guys
gonna go
checked
to
on the
Iowa
stuff
for
for
NASCAR.
F1 testing?
Oh yeah, Carmen, why don't you talk about because you watch more than the rest of us did.
Yeah, I watched both sessions.
You can talk about F1 testing, and you can talk about the Bathurst 12 because you watched it way more than we did, and that also happened this week.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring a point up about F1. I was talking to someone earlier on another Discord, and he brought up the fact that Haas was running like shit. Like shit. They were like, I think he said like a second off of everybody else.
I feel like they have a very poor research team.
Yeah,
Like-
they're struggling with what they always struggle with, trying to understand the tires. They've had that issue since 2017, and their car this year looks really heavy.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
on the opposite end of the spectrum, Red Bull is looking a little scary. They've
Oh, so-
gone
little?
for just a little. Have you seen the configuration of the intakes they have?
No.
I
They
did
have-
not.
They have a super skinny side pods. I'll post a picture of it here.
I was about to say, is it a penis nose?
No.
That was my F1.
Yeah, they have super skinny intakes on the sides. And then they have these two. One of the engineers, Ted Kravitz, called it bunny ear intakes, where they have it up on the top of the car because they wanted to kind of go the almost kind of Mercedes route with very small intakes on the sides. And so they have it right above the driver's head, which makes sense because they just put in new regulations to put more air to where the driver is because of Qatar last year. Well, Cheese is right. I take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, but when you look at how quick Red Bull was or Max was today, he did a 131.3, and the race lap record from 2005. So with refueling was a 131.4.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, we're fucked.
Yeah, he was the second faster than Lando, although Lando also doesn't have, or McLaren didn't bring any of the soft tires. But I mean, for him to be beating the race lap record in a time with refueling is, I don't know how much fuel they took on that run, but that's kind of scary.
Well,
Yeah, no.
congratulations, Max Verstappen, on kicking the shit.
There's
out
a
of everybody
reason
this
when
year.
I could bet on F1 World Champion this year, I didn't because Max Verstappen was like minus 2 or 430 or something. It was a lot. Like if you bet $1, you'd win like $1.40.
It'd be a guaranteed bet, though.
No, you'd win 40 cents. Sorry, but yeah, I guess it was a guarantee. I could bet my life savings on it and I'd make more money.
How did Sergio do?
He hasn't tested yet. Max did the whole day, I think.
All right, Max, cheater, let your teammate in the car, whore.
Well, they have 3 days, and they're only allowed to do a day and a half because they have 2 4-hour sessions each day. I think Haas did the most laps. I think they did 170 something,
Jesus Christ.
close to that.
And they were that shit?
Yeah, I think they're just grasping for anything that could dig them out of this hole. I know the Haas engineer, Komatsu, or the team boss now, he, at the car launch, pretty much said, don't expect anything from us this year. It's that bad over there right now.
Haas F1 waiting just for Andretti to buy them out.
And I don't think that they can
fucking
really.
You ran into me.
I don't think they can wait for next year and do like they did in 2022, where they just
I
didn't build a
couldn't
car
see that.
and put all the money into the next year. Because 2025 is the last year
You still
for this
ran into
current
me.
regulations.
Mm.
In 2026, they're going to have a whole new. The cars are going to be shorter. I think they're going to be a little bit thinner. The front wing's going to be
I
different.
was pacing. I didn't expect you to run. Fuck. No, whatever. Sorry.
Hmm.
I gotta fucking mute my mic.
It's good. So I think Haas is definitely in a weird place right now.
They're trying to get bought out by Andretti.
And then everybody else did good. Ferrari looked okay.
Wow.
I think Ferrari, McLaren, and Aston are all kind of fighting for that next best spot. Aston looked really good for a long time. They did a lot of laps. Ferrari looked good with both drivers. McLaren was McLaren. They looked pretty all right. The team that I was kind of surprised about was RB, is what they're calling it. That Visa Cash App Racing Bulls.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
that's
look.
bullshit.
Yeah, they're just calling them RB on the broadcast. But
They
they looked okay. They had some speed.
I'm gonna call them
And then,
Arby's.
Yeah. And then Mercedes looked kind of slow. But obviously, first day of testing, a lot of people could just be sandbagging. But I think with Mercedes how they are right now, it definitely makes sense that Lewis would see that and jump ship to Ferrari.
Yep.
And then I don't have much on the Bathurst 12. I mean, it was pretty much the Matt Campbell show. He dominated the early stage of the race, got out in front of the BMWs. The only other BMW that could really bring it to him got taken out by one of the Ginetta GT4s. And Campbell was pretty much untouchable until he got a drive-through penalty for not having a long enough pit stop, I think. Yeah, there's like a minimum time of 84, 85 seconds in the pit lane for a driver change. And he got a drive-through, tried to serve it under a yellow, and which turned into a safety car. So he had to serve it again, which put him kind of towards the back of the GT top class field.
God, that
And then
bites.
he drove through under the rain, turned dry, and just walked off. He had like an 8-second gap before he started to take it easy at the end.
Nice. Did any kangaroos die?
Not in that one. In the classic sports car race, the day before. I don't know if it died, but you definitely saw one sliding across the racetrack.
Had to ask.
And you see a Porsche with the windshield sitting in the guy's lap while he's
Oh
driving
my
slow.
I had to ask because Cart was talking about it. And I was like, he's like, yeah, there's kangaroos jump on the track. I was sitting there doing something that night, and Cart goes, he's like, oh my god, he hit a kangaroo.
I don't actually know if there was any kangaroos on track for the official Bathurst race.
Well, not after Smitty got hit by the Porsche. I don't think they did. They were watching.
Yeah, I think they got the message.
Clearly.
Another non-NASCAR topic I'm looking forward to is WEC.
Yes.
The World Endurance Championship.
Endurance. Yes.
They start soon. I don't know the exact date, but soon. They start at Qatar for the very first race of the year. And I was looking at the balance of performance updates for each team. Toyota's taking weight, loss of power. Everybody's taking both less power and more weight, except for I think the new entries and the Peugeot, which big news. That's going to be the last race they run the wingless car. From Qatar and on, they're going to be adding a wing to the Peugeot, a rear wing. And because they don't have the rear wing, that makes them the most powerful car and also the lightest in the entire field.
Oh, I guess we could talk about something else non-NASCAR related since it kind of got announced this week. Is the Indy, the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix of Nashville is now at Nashville Super Speedway and not the Nashville Street Course.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So
There was
the
some issue.
So the IndyCar finale is on an oval, which I think it is oval, road course, oval, oval, oval. Is the last like 5 races of IndyCar. IndyCar going back to their oval roots, pog, dude.
Short oval though.
You know
I
who's
think
gonna
Nashville
fucking
good
like?
because it's kind of like a mid oval.
Take them
Fucking
back,
what's
Auto
his name?
Club.
Newgarden. Newgarden's gonna capitalize on that shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
As a New Garden fan, I absolutely love it.
It is.
I'm excited.
If
I
he's
love
anywhere close, he's gonna be cooking for the championship.
Oh,
Okay,
he real, though, bro. He's gonna be real cooking.
So the end of the schedule is the last 5 races is a Gateway, Portland, Milwaukee, Nashville Super Speedway.
That's right. Milwaukee's a doubleheader.
Yep. And they also
Yeah,
have the Indy, the Iowa doubleheader too.
Yeah, don't let Joseph Newgarden within 50 points of you, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see him and Paolo really go at it next year, if it'll be them. Because Paolo's kind of like the dominant guy on the road courses right now. He's kind of untouchable there, and I think
Yeah.
Newgarden's the opposite. He's kind of untouchable on ovals.
So that thermal track, is it a road course or is it a oval?
It's a road course.
It's a road course.
Okay.
It's a road course. Tickets, if you want to buy tickets, it is a VIP experience that you have to pay two. Here, listen to this. 2 bands for $2,000. I think that was covered in the last episode of the pod, but you have to pay a lot of money to just be there.
That's probably where IndyCar is going to go anyway. In the future, they're going to run private courses. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I know someone asked Roger about the video game. And he's like,
Isn't that
yeah, it's dead.
isn't it canceled?
Yeah, it's dead. But someone was like, what about the video game? And he's like, we're in talks with iRacing about getting back with iRacing. And iRacing's
Honestly,
like,
after
nah, we ain't making a game yet for them. We're worried about our NASCAR game.
after seeing the Le Mans Ultimate game, I kind of would have wanted to see what an IndyCar game would have looked like.
Terrible.
Well, because Le Mans Ultimate isn't bad physics-wise, and it's not bad AI-wise, really. From a racing game standpoint, it's really good. Like, I've seen people say it feels just like R Factor. It's just as good as iRacing, but they said it runs really bad, just like R Factor 2 does. Because it's all built on the R Factor 2 engine.
Oh. So I was scrolling YouTube and saw another big topic we can kind of talk about. What do y'all think about the whole owner charter talks still not happening?
They'll figure it out before the year end.
Remind me what that is? I know, like, the charters and stuff, but what are they talking about?
A lot of the owners are wanting more money from the TV revenue, and NASCAR is like, I don't know. And the owners are like,
we have a lockout.
Yeah. We want
Literally,
more money.
we could have a lockout.
They're like, because the charters are so expensive, so we need more money. And NASCAR's like, I don't know about that. And then owners are like, okay, well, we're not talking to you guys anymore. And NASCAR's like, hold on, wait a minute. They did happen, they just didn't come to an agreement. Oh, so they did happen. Okay, those videos are wrong. It says NASCAR was released like 5 hours ago. NASCAR declines invitation to meet with owners.
We could have a lockout. Basically, like any other professional sports league, we could have a lockout.
Damn.
That's insane. The possibility can even happen.
No wonder
Wouldn't
why
that be
Ray.
crazy? Just
No.
That
no
would
wonder
just
why-
seeing
that
nobody
would
race
fuck
and
them.
No wonder
nobody
why Ray
racing
Abraham's
and-
bringing our rock back.
BJ McLeod gets the win.
True.
No, it would fuck NASCAR more than it would fuck the team owners. They're not
That's
losing
what I'm
money.
saying. Yeah, that would fuck the entire organization.
They don't want to split though, because a split would hurt more. They've learned from IndyCar.
Didn't the
That'd
Racing
be
Alliance
cata-
just sign someone? Oh, I don't
That'd
know.
be
No, they
catastrophic.
Putting something on would hurt teams more than... Because NASCAR's the name. People
Yeah.
watch because it's called NASCAR.
Speaking of the splits, how do you guys feel about IndyCar having thoughts about teams locking into the Indy 500 and not having to qualify?
Shitty.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, they are having some thoughts about it, but mass kind of the way that everybody seems to be thinking about it is it's
Oh,
dumb
Lord.
and it should not happen. Which I'd be worried to see it go into effect, because isn't that the whole reason that they split in the first place?
Ooh. Luis posted an article. NASCAR teams hire antitrust lawyer over charter negotiations. Oh shit.
Yeah, they did.
Jeff Gordon has admitted Hendrick Motorsports haven't turned a profit in 10 years. True. It was alleged the last charter, so BJ's charter, was sold for $40 million. Damn, BJ got a profit. BJ got
Yeah,
a
no, he
bag.
did.
He is set for life.
Hendrick Motorsports said, we ain't made a profit in 10 years. BJ said, hold my money. Sorry.
No, the charters are going for a lot. The guarantee charters too are going for like 50, 60 mil.
That's crazy.
Because they do have a performance thing with the charters. So like if Hendrick Motorsports wanted to sell the 24 for some reason, that bitch would go for 70, 80 million.
Mm.
I bet a top team charter would go for more like 100.
Man, BJ, why don't you run up top 10, bro? You could have got 80, 90 mil. You could have got even a bigger bag. I think that's it. I think it's it for the pod, boys. Does anybody has anything lately to say? Lastly, before we end the old pod.
Someone's gonna flip at Atlanta.
In the truck
It's
series,
due.
more than likely.
It's due to happen.
I'm predicting we get a flip at Martinsville.
Whoa. No. Don't put that on Martinsville.
Martinsville's crazy.
Alright.
But no, I don't got anything else to add.
Alright. Thanks for joining the pod. We will see you guys next Wednesday with our reactions to Atlanta and other breaking topics as they happen. Oh, you said Jeff Gordon is kind of nervous. If cars get too expensive, since only one person supplies each individual part. Ooh, no, I did not see that. Of course.
I love Jeff, but he's also the guy who said that Cup drivers shouldn't have personalities and they should let the teams take care of that.
Ah, yes. Jeffrey Gordon, 2024.
Jeff Gordon also has creamy shits, so I mean.